What's up, y'all? Time for the Haskell. But before we get into that, real quick, just want to talk about these other races that went on the past few weeks here. As far as the older horses, we had our old buddy Mindframe come back and get a really strong win in the Stephen Foster Churchill Downs. He beat Sierra Leone in that one, beat Mystic Dan in that one. Um, Looking to shape up for a matchup against Fierceness in the Breeders' Cup Classic. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves there. We also had the Ohio Derby run. Clever again came out in the favorite in that one. McAfee was running there too, Chunk of Gold, but it was Moplex that got the win. Chunk of Gold second, McAfee third. Clever again ran sixth. Disappointing there for him. The Indiana Derby ran as well. Cole Battle was in that one. He was beaten, though, by Tip Top Thomas, who ran a great time, a 141 flat. I gave him a 110 for that one. So I think we'll probably see Tip Top Thomas back in a bigger race after that nice win in the Indiana Derby. And then Magnitude. For those who don't remember, Magnitude was injured earlier in the year, looking like he was going to be a strong Derby contender. But he came back now for this Iowa Derby. Black and maybe even Moplex coming up here soon, maybe in the Travers, but maybe the Jim Dandy. But for now, we're going to talk about the Haskell. Now, we got our old buddy journalism here again. Horse of the Year journalism. Even though the early voting, I think, now has Sovereignty leading for Horse of the Year. Even I think it's truly still up in the air, but everyone still loves journalism. He's coming back as a 4-5 favorite in this one, but going to be facing some horses that we've seen before, plus some newcomers. The good thing is we're going to get to see him run against Gosger again, who had that thrilling race against journalism in the Preakness, got caught right at the end. And the controversial horse that caused all the problems is back as well. Not the horse, but the jockey. As well as his controversial trainer, Bob Baffert, goal oriented. So let's get going here. Number one, Bracket Buster. Horse is sired by Tacoma, or sorry, not Tacoma, Vacoma, who's a Candy Ride horse. 10-1 in the morning odds here, trained by Victoria Oliver. Johnny Velasquez hopping aboard this horse. Now, he has ridden him for a victory before, way back when he broke his maiden. Last out for this horse, got a win in the Pegasus Stakes by 7. It's going to make a lot of people like him there. I didn't like his competition too much. Race before that was a optional claimer at Churchill Downs. Got destroyed, 12 lengths behind 7th place in that one. Now, that was the race that goal-oriented won on Preakness Day at Churchill Downs. So he didn't have much for goal-oriented there. Race before that was the Lexington Stakes. Second behind Gosger. 2 lengths behind in that, so much closer. He also ran in the Street Sense before that one, 5th in the Street Sense, losing to Sovereignty, Sandman, Tistastic. So he's faced a lot of strong horses before. Never been able to do much against them. The best finish he had against these stronger horses was against Gosger in the Lexington. So he's coming back up against the tougher competition here. We'll see if Bracket Buster can make that step forward, which that's what I think he's going to have to do. Probably going to be kind of forwardly placed, but not going to be on the lead. I don't think he's a threat to be the leader. Number 2, having a great year for Rispoli as well, all around, not just riding journalism. Journalism, this horse, what can we say about him? America's favorite horse. 8 entries, 5 victories, 5 victories, 2 second places, and so journalism always getting it done here. in his last race, second place a second time to Sovereignty in the mile and a quarter Belmont Stakes at Saratoga. Um, the race before that, as we all know, the great win he had in the Preakness, instant classic, final race at current Pimlico, blah, blah, blah. We all know about that one. Race before that was that Kentucky Derby we were talking about. I mean, he, wins in the Santa Anita Derby, San Felipe. I mean, this horse is very well accomplished. However, the biggest knock I guess anybody could put on him is he gets into trouble. Is that the horse's fault? Is that the jockey's fault? I don't know. But journalism tends to get into trouble. So that would probably be the biggest worry with him in this race. Not going to be forwardly placed. He likes to come from off the pace, and he's going to be facing quite a few horses that are going to be in front of him, and he's going to have to fight off those horses. And we've seen him fight through trouble in the Santa Anita Derby and fight through trouble um, in the Preakness. Uh, Clean races, in my opinion, in the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont, just beaten by a better horse. But if it isn't for Sovereignty, like somebody was saying, he'd be Triple Crown horse. That's one of the owners was talking. So hey, um, clearly the best horse. 4 to 5 morning odds means that the public is probably going to think that he's clearly the best horse as well. So the thing is, do you want to bet against journalism or not? Can he be beaten? Yeah, I think he can be beaten. Not all these horses, I think, can really beat him, given a clean trip. But I think he can be beaten. So let's get on to these other horses. We'll get to the ones that can beat him. Number 3, Wild and Crazy Night. Wild and Crazy Night, horse out of Midnight Loot. That is a real quiet horse. Another horse that almost won the Triple Crown, a near miss, you could call him. 30 to 1 in the morning odds for this horse, trained by Dan Ward. Jockey's Isaac Castillo. It's got to win aboard the horse before. Pardon me. Another horse that's going to be forwardly placed, but probably not going to be on the list. Second, Haskell here, but 7 lengths behind that time, which was not that great of a time to me. A 144 and 3. That was a slow pace too. A 48 and 2 opening half. You're looking at a 113 and 1 in the 3/4. So Bracket Buster to me just unchallenged, just kind of rode away with that one. Wild and Crazy Night just happened to run second behind him. The other thing about this horse is he's never won over 6 furlongs. Biggest speed figure I've got for him is 88. I got that at 6 furlongs. He got that in a win that he ran before running in that Pegasus Stakes. Ran 5th in the Bachelor before that. Another 6 furlong race. 7 lengths behind in that one. I think they're just kind of grasping at straws in this one. I don't really like the horse that much, even in a closing situation, in a pace situation. Only if the pace is really slow, but I don't see a really slow pace in this one. Wild and Crazy Night. I think we're clearly going to have to see improvement from the horse for him to hit the board in this one. Number 4 is Burnham Square. Now, we've seen this horse all over the place, we should say. He's kind of like a Waldo type horse. You go back, he was in the Florida Derby, the Fountain of Youth, the Holy Bull, Bluegrass Stakes, Kentucky Derby. Last out, he was in the Matt Win. Second by a head behind East Avenue. Now, that was another decent race. East Avenue and Burnham Square, by the way, stepped it up, looking good. Don't know if they're really ready to do something with the Travers after that, though. Even though they might bring him back, we'll see. I still think they're kind of a cut below your Sovereignties and your Journalisms, and maybe a couple of other horses in there. But Burnham Square's back. As we know, these horses can improve, especially when they're 3 years old. Horse is sired by Liam's Map. That's an unbridled song horse. Mother's father is Scat Daddy. So you got some good breeding coming out of there. Horse has been good. In the money, 6 out of 8 races, 3 wins. Um, hasn't done much recently. He said second by a head in that Matt win. So he had a decent race there. Kentucky Derby was sixth. Had a win by a nose in the Bluegrass Stakes, but that was a slow time, and I think it reflected. I only gave him a 94 speed figure in that one. Um, Fourth in the Fountain Youth before that. Before that, he had the win in the Holy Bull, which he kind of shocked people. So, um, you know, Horse likes to close. I think that's probably going to work to his advantage in this one because there's a lot of horses that are going to want to be near the front, probably in a stalking position. And he did step, but I guess you could say he's competitive, especially to hit the board, and especially if you're looking for a good exotic, a good trifecta. I think you can make a great case to play Burnham Square there. Number 5, National Law. This one is an Irad Ortiz Jr. ridden horse trained by Jorge Duarte. 20 to 1 in the morning odds. Probably going to come down a little bit for the Irad fans, but probably rightfully so for these odds. Constitution is the sire of this horse. It's a Tappet horse. Mother's father's Giants Causeway. I do have him bred the best out of these other horses here. I give that a 4 rating. It's the same thing I gave to Gosger and Goal Oriented. So if you're looking for another horse to throw in there, I think he does have the breeding to improve. He's got the jockey to improve. Ira Ortiz Jr. He's never ridden him before. Maybe he gets along with him. Maybe he brings him up, makes him run a little bit better. Last out, fourth, 8 lengths behind in that Pegasus. I just talked about that Pegasus. Before that, he had a win in an optional claimer at Pimlico, mile and 116, but it's 144. Not a horrible time. And we all saw what Gosger did. Horses can improve that time, like up to 13, 14 points in one race. If a horse is gonna do that and you're looking for a little juice, I think National Law might be the horse to do that. I will probably have him in a try or super, bringing up the tail end because I think he might be able to hit the board, even though that's not my first inclination. My first inclination is that this horse is just outclassed by these other ones and he's going to be too slow. Um, Number 5. Now, this is the horse of honor here. Technically, in my opinion, Gosger, or the 6, Gosger, 9 to 2 in the morning odds. I think they're disrespecting him with that. Horse is sired by Nyquist, the Derby winner out of Uncle Mo. Mother's father is Tappet, so good breeding from this one. Second only, I think, to journalism. Trained by Brendan Walsh, upcoming trainer, and ridden by Luis Saez. They have quite a jockey trainer combo rapport there. We also look at Luis Saez, who's got a couple of wins in this race. 2019 with Maximum Security, and he won it last year with Dornoch. Last out, the Preakness, the famed Preakness. Now, Gosger looked like he was running away with this one. A lot of people didn't think journalism was going to be able to get there. He was able to get there and get home really ready, with a chip on his shoulder, ready to win. Um, Before that Preakness, he had a win in the Lexington. Uh, Broke his maiden at Gulfstream, another horse coming out of Gulfstream. Before that one, 4 lifetime races, 2 first places, 2 second place finishes. So he's always in the exacta, journalism always in the money. Gotta love both of these horses. If anybody's got a chance to beat journalism, I think it's Gosger. I really think it's Gosger in this one. I gave him a 108 speed rating for that Preakness. Now, journalism did step up his speed in that in the the Belmont Stakes. Um, the thing about Gosger and journalism is they both get better every race. Win or lose, their speed figures improve. So it's going to be quite the matchup, I think, coming down. Not to get ahead of ourselves here, but Gosger definitely looks to be ready to go again against journalism. Number 7, Kentucky Outlaw. Horse is out of Outwork. That's an Uncle Mo horse. His mother's father's street sense, so a little something there. I don't really know if the horse is really bred well enough to expect him to make as big of a jump as he's going to need to get in to competition with the horses that we've got here. They do have his morning odds lower than National Law, though. He's a 15-1 in the morning odds, trained by Felicia Dunn, Florent Giroux, the jockey. He's got a couple of wins. Well, one win really here with Cyberknife in 2022. He awarded the 2021 um, uh, Haskell due to disqualification of Flavian Pratt aboard Hot Rod Charlie. So Mandaloon, a horse who's got a couple of asterisks in his career, awarded the win in the Haskell that year. So Florent Giroux is no stranger to the winner's circle in this race. This horse, I think, is going to make it a bit tough on him, though. Last out, third, 6 lengths off in the inaugural Delaware Derby. That's right, the Delaware Derby. Delaware is trying to get involved in this now as well. Um, I give him an 89 speed figure for that one. Before that, he ran in the Long Branch here at Monmouth. He got a win there, so that's good that he's got a win uh, at this track. It's a mile and 70 yards and 141. Not impressive in my opinion. I converted the speed figure. What did I call it? I don't remember what I gave him for that. Not that impressive though. Um, Fifth in the Federico Tessio before that, and got a win at Parks before that one. They gave him a 102 speed figure I saw in the racing form I was looking at, which I thought was kind of weird for the time that he ran that race in. I gave him an 84. But for whatever the reason, I mean, maybe they're looking back at that and somebody saw something with some kind of figures and they figure that's why the horse. They give him a 15-1. I don't think he's got that much of a shot. Like I said, I like National Outlaw a little bit better if you're looking for a long shot. But Kentucky Outlaw, yeah, I like the name. You know, hey, there's something to like about him. Uh, Workout's been all right, a 46 handily, 111 handily. So stepping up a little bit lately, but it's a bit of a stretch, especially for a horse that I have not just forwardly placed, but I think he's probably going to be on the lead. He likes the lead, probably going to get the lead. He's going to get pressured by these other horses. Number 8 is Goal Oriented. Horse out of Not This Time, a Giant's Causeway horse. Mother's father is a Fleet Alex. So strong breeding I like out of this one. Now, I like this horse in the Preakness. Flavian Pratt was riding him. He's back aboard him again, trained by Bob Baffert, who has 9 wins in this Haskell. Didn't get it done in the Preakness. The thing that bothered me about that race, he ended up finishing 4th in that one. I think he did try to cut off journalism and causing that dust up that everyone remembers. And that being said, I think that means that not only does Flavian Pratt think that he's still young, though, he had that kind of an awkward but yet impressive. That's kind of why I liked him. The race he won at Churchill Downs wasn't that the one that he ran on Derby Day. In the slop, 142-4, he looked kind of awkward, but it was a pretty decent time considering the circumstances and a horse that looked like he still had a lot of growing to do. Kind of reminded me of Mind Frame last year. Fast horse, but still young. So goal oriented. Before that, coming off a 6 furlong win at Santa Anita, um, Bob Baffert training 15 for 15 in the money in his Haskell entries, which is incredible. 9 wins. That's also incredible. There's a lot to be said for this horse, and the fact that he's trained by Baffert running in the Haskell. Let's take a look back at these horses now. We're going to go backwards now. Point given, or not backwards, forward. 0-1 point given. Point given, as we know, those that know, near Triple Crown horse. Triple Crown quality, didn't end up getting the Triple Crown. 0-2 War Emblem, same thing. Not quite as good, I thought, is point given, but also a very good horse near Triple Crown as well. He won the Haskell as well, just like point given. 0-5 Roman Ruler. That was one where I was kind of like, okay. Horse that you knew was on the trail. Didn't really think he was going to get the win here. 2010 Looking at Lucky. Again, a horse that, like this horse looks all right. Didn't think he was going to get the win here. Then you get to 2011 Coil. Didn't think that was going to happen. 12 Painter. Didn't think that was going to happen. 14 Bayern, who went on to do even much more than win the Haskell. Didn't think that was going to happen. Now, 2015, American Pharaoh. Everybody thought he was going to get home for that one. Baffert, of course, cried after that race again, which is like, why are you crying after the half? You won the Triple Crown, of course, you cried there. But I mean, and people forget that Bob Baffert used to cry like once every month or two. But he cried after winning the Haskell just because the horse didn't get injured. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that's how that went down. Is that he cried because he's I'm just so happy the horse came out healthy. So, and then 2020 got a win with Authentic in the Haskell. So Baffert knows how to get it done in this race. Baffert, he's an aggressive guy. Will goal oriented take the lead in this race? I don't know. I thought he was going to get the lead in the Preakness. That's why I picked him. I expected him to get the lead in the Preakness. Didn't do it. Didn't get the lead in the Preakness. It hurt him. He's up there trying to cut off journalism and stuff, and it's just a disaster. Not a complete disaster because he did run fourth, but not the race I wanted to see. Will he take the lead in this one? I don't Pratt say he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to do that. I think we're going to have Kentucky Outlaw getting the lead in this one. I've got the pace set here at a 46-4. Kentucky Outlaw getting the lead. I think it's going to be a bit of competition for this lead as well. I think not only goal oriented is going to be want to be more forwardly placed, but not getting the lead. I do think the 3, this Wild and Crazy Knight's going to be in there. He's used to running in 6 furlong races there. I think we're going to have Gosger. He likes to run up front. I don't think he will be that close, but I think he will be in there as well because it's Saez, and Saez likes to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. But he will definitely be riding up there with the pace, and I think you can also count on National Law, Irad Ortiz Jr. in there. I expected the couple of them to be riding just a little bit off of those other 3, but I do expect Kentucky Outlaw to have the lead, 46-4. I think it will be a 111-1 in the 3 quarters, and I think they're going to get after it here because Pratt's going to want to get after it. We know he likes to get after it. No, Pratt likes to go, and we know Irad Ortiz likes to go, and we know Luis Saez likes to go, and they're all going to be riding right near the leader as I'm thinking. So I think we're going to see them all take off right around the same time. Journalism, Burnham Square, bringing up the rear, Bracket Buster, going to be back or going to be, I think, probably ahead of Journalism. I think he's going to be outclassed. I think he's going to end up getting left behind. I think Wild and Crazy Night ends up falling apart. National Law, like I said, I'm going to have him in there. I don't think he'll be able to hang. I think Kentucky Outlaw is going to get tired. It's going to leave us down to a goal-oriented Gosger and Journalism taken off after this lead. Burnham Square, I think, is going to be in there, be competitive, but I got Burnham Square running fourth. Third place, I do have goal oriented, making the run, but I just don't know if he just doesn't seem to be old enough, and I don't know if he made a big enough jump yet. Like I said, Gosger gets better every race. Journalism gets better every race. And I think it's going to be down to Gosger in journalism. And this was quite a pick. I mean, to tell you the truth, heart of hearts, I wanted to pick Gosger. You know, I don't pick races like that, but just looked like, yeah, Gosger could have had him last time. And I'm thinking like, oh, he known he was going to make that amazing comeback. He would have had more for him. And this is a shorter race, so Gosker's going to get him this time. And journalism is not going to be able to keep up. But I just had to slow down and think for a second. You know, just because the race is shorter doesn't mean journalism is going to run a mile and 3/16 race instead of the mile and eighth race. So it's 9 furlongs instead of 9.5 furlongs. Um, Journalism's good, and the horse likes to go. And we saw last time in a situation where once again he could have been out of it, and everyone would have given him the benefit of the doubt. He got it together and got the win. And so while Luis Saez, he's got a chip on his shoulder, certainly, to want to get that win over journalism, I don't think he's going to be able to do it this time. Rispoli's going to be coming off a loss. And even though, he's going to be like, yeah, I didn't beat Sovereignty again, but I'm not losing to Gosger. He's not going to want to have that, hanging over his head, having feeling like, not like Gosger is a bad horse, but he certainly feels, being the favorite all these times, and then coming up with two heartbreaking losses. It's got to be heartbreaking because it wasn't much he could do to beat Sovereignty. I think he could have waited, maybe even let Sovereignty go first. That might have changed things up. Journalism has shown that he's got a lot of heart. Um, Journalism, and I think he gets it done for the win. 2-6-8-4. That's how I got it. I'm gonna have to play the Gosger wins angle in an exacta and most likely in a trifecta key. I usually would do that anyway with a strong favorite, being that journalism is going to be a strong favorite. But Gosger, I think, has a real shot to win. I just can't take him to win over journalism. But and at 9-2, he's probably going to come down from 9-2 because people don't like to play favorites, are going to like Gosger as well. So I wouldn't be surprised if he comes down from that 9-2. But that's how I like it. Gosger running second again. I think he's just as good of a horse as he is. He didn't really seem to be getting tired in that last race, and he just got caught